It starts quietly, almost unnoticed. Imagine being 7, looking at a parent consumed by addiction, anger, or just a profound, hollow silence, too broken to be present for you. In that moment, an ancient truth clicks in your young mind. If I don't hold everything together, no one else will. This marks the beginning of a child's disappearance. Not physically, but psychologically they vanish. They smile more, cry less, always reading the room before speaking, becoming the household's emotional thermostat, small adults before their time. The world often praises them for this, saying, "You're so mature, so responsible, so strong." But the critical question is, at what personal cost does this come? This is the invisible grief of those forced to grow up too fast. Today, we'll delve into the psychology of such children, as these profound effects don't simply vanish with age. Instead, they deeply shape you, following you into all aspects of your life, from relationships and careers to your fundamental sense of self-worth and identity. Without understanding what happened, you risk spending your adult life trapped, repeating survival patterns that once saved you, but are now slowly causing you harm. Developmentally, when children are compelled to emotionally support adults rather than receiving that support themselves, psychologists have a specific term for this: parentification. It's when a child transforms into the caregiver, peacekeeper, therapist, or protector. This isn't merely unhealthy, it fundamentally rewires the developing brain in significant ways. When a child consistently manages emotional regulation for themselves or others, it fosters hypervigilance. They're constantly scanning for danger, metaphorically walking on eggshells in their own home. They learn love is a transaction. Give peace, get safety. Their own needs seem dangerous, while others are urgent, leading to emotional disappearance in their early life. In their place, a high-performing version emerges: the good child, the quiet achiever, the therapist friend, the one who never asks for anything, silently taking on all burdens. This identity is worn so convincingly that even they forget it's a mask. Yet deep down, a profound ache persists, as the inner child buried within never truly died. They're still silently screaming, "Why didn't anyone protect me?" As age progresses, symptoms grow more complex. One common manifestation is becoming extremely hyper-independent. They might refuse help, push others away, or find it impossible to feel safe in love. Happy moments can bring numbness, as joy feels foreign, unearned, and sometimes even dangerous. Rest becomes a struggle, as productivity becomes the sole path to self-worth. Crucially, they may not even realize they are still profoundly stuck in a childhood survival mode. When dysfunction is normalized early, the nervous system accepts chaos as its baseline state. Stillness feels wrong, peace seems suspicious, and love feels like an insurmountable debt. This is the complex psychology of a child forced to grow up too fast. It's not mere sadness, but a deep trauma that reshapes their entire worldview and, crucially, their self-perception. You might wonder why a child would willingly embrace such a role. The answer lies in their fundamental need for attachment. They'll abandon themselves to secure it. This choice is never conscious. It's a biological imperative. In unsafe environments, children sacrifice their authenticity for a sense of belonging. This is not weakness, but a profound intelligence, an instinct. However, the tragedy is that what saved them in childhood often imprisons them in adulthood. Many become high-functioning adults, yet are still governed by deeply neglected inner children. We overachieve for love, stay silent to avoid abandonment, and care for everyone, secretly wishing someone would ask if we're truly okay, noticing our hidden vulnerability.
This deep fantasy of finally being allowed to fall apart and be held is an unmet need, not of the adult, but of the child who never truly experienced childhood. The first step to healing isn't fixing, it's witnessing what happened. Until you validate that truth, you'll continue gaslighting yourself with thoughts like, it wasn't that bad. Other people had it worse, I turned out fine. But fine is merely another mask, and deep down, you absolutely know this isn't the full truth. So what becomes of that child? They grow into adults who never feel safe, even in calm environments. They become lovers unable to trust softness, givers unable to receive. These are people who apologize for crying, flinch at compliments, and tragically confuse their deep exhaustion with genuine personal success. It's a heavy, silent burden they carry. This is the true cost of growing up too fast. If childhood trained you to be strong over soft, quiet over honest, fixing others while ignoring your own pain, what then? You inherit a life where you constantly hold your breath, perpetually waiting for someone to finally grant you permission to fall apart, to truly be yourself without consequence. Here's the essential truth: no one is coming to rescue the child you buried. You must be the one to go back, hold their hand, and speak the words they never heard. You didn't deserve that. You were just a child. You get to rest now. This is the genesis of deep shadow work, a process of profound self-discovery and healing. It's not about fixing, performing, or bypassing pain with false positivity. Instead, it's about courageously turning towards the abandoned parts of yourself and acknowledging them directly. I see you now, I hear you now, and I'm not leaving is the core of this repairing process. It's often brutal, demanding you feel long-buried grief. It asks you to sit with intense rage, profound sorrow, and all your unmet needs. To weep for missed birthdays and mourn the innocence lost while protecting those who should have protected you. But remember, that grief is not weakness. It is tangible proof that you are actively healing. What was once frozen within you is finally beginning to thaw. Now, let's explore how these survival patterns subtly, tragically, and often invisibly manifest in adulthood. You might become the therapist in every friendship, yet never truly reveal your authentic self. You might be praised for your fierce independence, while deep down, you're terrified of ever being perceived as a burden to others or yourself. In relationships, you may overfunction, constantly fixing, managing, and over-explaining, then wonder why deep resentment builds within. Setting boundaries can feel like an act of betrayal. These are not innate personality traits. They are learned coping strategies. The good news is, these conditioned behaviors are absolutely unlearnable, but only with conscious effort. This process begins when you stop idolizing your perceived strength and start honoring your deepest wounds. Ask your inner child, what did I need back then that I never received? You might hear responses like, I needed someone to tell me it wasn't my fault. I needed someone to ask how I was truly doing and if I was okay. This isn't to fix the past, but to stop constantly reliving its patterns. This is how you break the cycle of seeking parents in your partners and mistaking anxiety for genuine intuition. This is how you ceased running from the child you once were and embrace the authentic self you are now bravely becoming. It's a journey of profound integration. Carl Jung famously stated, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain. People will do anything, however absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." Shadow work demands precisely this. It requires us to face the neglected, the ashamed, the scared, and the angry parts of ourselves, without judgment or avoidance. All the pieces matter. Healing isn't about becoming someone entirely new. It's about remembering who you authentically were before the world imposed its expectations and labels upon you. If you're someone who grew up too fast, understand this: your maturity wasn't the problem. The core issue was that you had no genuine choice in the matter. But now, as an adult, you do have a choice. You can choose softness, you can choose to truly rest and honor your own deeply felt needs now. You can choose to stop managing everyone else's emotions and finally start honoring your own. This profound shift won't happen overnight, and that's perfectly okay. There will be days you feel like a child again, and that is exactly the point. Let that inner child come home. Let them cry, let them play freely now. Let them finally be seen and heard, because you are not broken. You are actively in the powerful process of becoming truly whole, integrating all your parts. And perhaps, for the very first time in your life, you are finally growing up the right way, not through pressure or fear, but through profound truth. You may never have had a childhood in the conventional sense, but you absolutely still have a future. And this time, you get to consciously write its narrative.